All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Providence Lucha Talk. This is Luisito,
Your boy Jay Aguila.
and we're here to talk about wrestling, mainly today about NXT and AEW, and we'll got something going on later on, which is kind of a special episode for today.
Yes, sir. And as well, you can watch the Providence Lucha Talk on our YouTube page. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, as well as in the Facebook page, Providence Lucha Talk. As well, you can listen to our audio content on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. The night of my birthday, AEW NXT tried their best to entertain me, but guess what? I'm still with AEW. I didn't watch it, but I'm still with AEW.
That's funny. We both got some, like, not a birthday wrestling day, but like we both had like a show. I think you had a better show for your birthday week rather than
you
mine.
think so?
Yeah, mine was okay, but I think I had Super Tuesday, which was good.
Yeah.
But I feel like the one for both, I think you got two titles, basically two number one contenders for NXT and a couple of things that happen in AEW that's setting up for the future. So I feel like yours has more story going forward. Mine's just kind of like combination of a story and NXT.
Oh wow! And also with the NXT recap, man, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to give the full detail. I'm just probably going to announce, like,
yeah, it was a lot. It was a handful.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Oh god, just reading detail here is just like too much. But let's start with NXT real quick. NXT started off with the Women Battle Royale. Now there's about maybe 10 participants, 12 in this match. I think mostly favorable was Rhea Ripley or maybe Jacqueline or maybe Dakota. But winner of this battle royale goes to Candice. Candice is headed to face Io Shirai on TakeOver. So that's really big news right there.
Do you think that's the beginning of the Gargano way, or they setting up for something big? Because remember, they gave a pause to the Gargano way a couple of months ago, and now she's starting to get her own move and Gargano too. So
I'm not making bold predictions. You could. I'm not. Jake Atlas versus Tommaso Ciampa. It seems that Ciampa was able to get his way with a big W on this match. We had Roderick Strong and Danny Burch, a different set of teams, versus Fabian Archner.
Yeah, Fabian Archner. Yep.
And Raul Mendoza. Strong and Burch are heading to face the NXT Tag Team Champions. Who figures? Now, Damian Priest versus Austin Theory. I believe it was told that Johnny Gargano already have a match with Damian Priest.
Yeah, that's going to be for NXT 31.
TakeOver? Yep. Yeah. So in this match, I believe that Priest was able to win with his finisher, as well as Gargano was able to super kick Priest while he was celebrating. Oh my gosh. So far, I think I just read 4 matches for the people. Ridge Holland versus Antonio De Lucas. I got some new names, never heard of. Maybe I'm going to get more insight from you.
I think he was just like, this is kind of like a jobber match for him to, it was Rich Holland kind of his third match. Because I think the second match was for the qualifier. So I think they trying to build up new superstars, because we're seeing a lot of people moving towards championship matches. So I think there's the new crop of wrestlers moving into the NXT.
Well, I found the result. The result was that Holland was able to get the win.
Yeah, he destroyed him. It was crazy.
And again, I can't really go too much detail into this, but the Gauntlet Eliminator match, where there were 5 competitors that I thought were good choices. O'Reilly, Kushida. We had Dream.
We had Cameron Grimes,
right?
Kushida,
right?
Kyle O'Reilly, Timothy Thatcher, and we had, I'm missing one.
Is it not Dream?
No.
Reed?
Bronson Reed, yeah.
Oh, Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I was reading something differently on this. All right.
Yeah.
So it seems that O'Reilly was able to come out on top from this gauntlet match, and he received the blessing of the Adam Cole baby with the thumb hug of approval while he heads to Takeover 31 to face Finn Balor.
I'm glad I called this on the last episode. I was like, "This is the
You
beginning
did.
of a new superstar," and I feel
Yep.
it's they're finally seeing that they have individuals that could become superstars in NXT for Undisputed Era, and it's a good way for them either not to disband them, but to individually for them to get their own props rather than just being as a unit.
I see more of with Strong and Birch teaming up. I mean, I don't think they'd be able to get this W on Takeover 31 personally, but if they do, that'd be awesome. Does this make Birch the fifth member of Undisputed Era, or does Strong leave his way from the group? You know what I'm saying? It's really more of a big question. Seeing O'Reilly actually advancing to face Finn Balor, O'Reilly was always a star. You know what I'm saying? He'd been shining through since they did that tournament about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think before I just checked. I think it's so the team that the tag team that went against each other that you mentioned, it was Birch. Birch is Strong against Mendoza and Eichner. So whatever team whatever team won, they were gonna face each other at NXT Takeover. So we're gonna have Birch and Lorcan against versus Undisputed Era.
Yep, as I mentioned before. Yeah. So it's just really interesting to see that a lot of group, especially O'Reilly, he's been developing. He was always a star. I guess he just took more of a softball working under Adam Cole. Now he's on his own. To me, I'm not sure if this is Adam Cole saying his goodbye, take care well of the business while I move on to other things. Maybe he did sign that extended contract and gonna move to a different brand, or he might leave the company and join with his wife. We don't know. But till then, NXT seems to be building a good future and a lot of respect for that. Are you surprised with the result of the Women Royale?
Yes, I was expecting anybody, but nothing against Candice LeRae. But the way the story was told, I was thinking either, like you mentioned, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi Blackheart, or what's her name? Not even Dakota Kai or Tegan Knox.
Jacqueline.
Tegan Knox. Because I think Raquel. I think Raquel and Rhea Ripley still have some beef to battle that out. So that there was some spots in the Battle Royale that was good. Casey Casantaro, she kind of pulled the Kofi Kingston move, so she was not eliminated from there. She got tossed out, but her foot never landed, which was a good spot and show her athleticism. So hopefully that's a one-off thing, because I hope she doesn't keep doing that, kind of like Kofi Kingston and Naomi does it, which is fine, but it's just make it special rather than a routine thing. But I'm happy for Candice LeRae. Let's see what happens, and if I'm not saying that Gargano way is going to continue, but they've been trying to push the Gargano way for a while, so maybe this is a good way to make a story out of this.
I mean, if anybody could defeat Priest, I would not be mad if it's Johnny Gargano. I think it's just more of his character and persona, his character and how he just carry himself. Priest is just I feel like he should have been part of Retribution and just moved on.
That would have been a good thing, yeah.
Because I mean, with his age, I don't think he's going to be able to, live up to the speed of the younger blood. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
But also the thing, it's the age thing. Not I'm saying it wasn't his fault, but he moved to the main event, or not the main event, but to the WWE a little too late. He was very popular in the Indies. He did a lot in the Indies, but age has to kind of have to take consideration. That's why I think one reason probably they moved Mercedes Martinez to Raw, just to kind of make her kind of maximize her time and rest. The same thing as Shayna Baszler too. They're trying to maximize the little time that they have in wrestling, because they're almost in late 30s, almost 40. So
keep in mind, guys, Father Time has no type of respect to nobody. So it seems more likely that they have to take advantage of the moment as they can until it's time to let go. I mean, like we we don't need more Ric Flairs. Okay, there's just one who's able to be 65 plus years old to do what he does, and it's a scary thing. But I think I'm hoping Priest is able to move on either to SmackDown or Raw. Nah, SmackDown most likely. That way he could work with some, be a jobber for some of the like Big E, Sheamus,
Yeah,
or
I feel
even
like
a corporate story.
Damon Priest could be the Alistair Black sort of in SmackDown.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I can
like
see
I
that.
feel like
Yep.
there'll be too much overload of the same type in one brand. So if he goes to SmackDown, that'll be interesting. Or even they swap whatever, but at least keep Aleister Black and him separate. Or even if they're together, I wouldn't mind seeing them in a tag team. That'd be something kind of like not Brothers of Destruction, but something of that mystery type tag team division for them.
All right, so now it's time for my favorite franchise right now. Is AEW getting close to their 1 year anniversary, being celebrated October 14th. So far, there's some card announcement that I was like, what the F is going on? But kind of made sense later. I think the deliverance of the announcement was a little bit too premature, but we'll talk about it.
And also, it's almost been a year. I think we went to the second show, I think October 9th last year.
Yes.
So it's almost a year since like they had, which is crazy. Who would have thought we went to the second show in Boston to now nobody in the crowds? That's crazy.
Wouldn't predict this. I was hoping to see them. They were supposed to do a show, I believe, in August, if I don't mistaken. I think it was August, and sadly, that right there, it was just like coronavirus, man. That's an evil motherfucker right there. But anywho, AEW, right? The show started with Miro and Kip versus Janela and Sonny Kiss. Miro was able to get the win with his submission over Sonny. And then we had Eddie Kingston throw his little promo since there was a change of card at the last minute. I thought it was well done, but I have more comments on it in a few. Him and Paige defeated Evil Uno while Kenny Omega was in commentary. I thought this match was a little bit lengthy, but Heyman Page is still 2 weeks strong since he's been doing single matches now. God, this one is a little bit hard to say, but Brody Lee defeated Orange Cassidy for the AEW TNT Championship. It was a clean win. Also, we got the return of Cody Rhodes in his new gimmick, all black hair, no longer white or silver.
You seen the memes of him?
Oh yeah, the character from Nickelodeon.
Lazy Town?
Yes,
that was hilarious. Like, it was the funniest thing ever.
I think he purposely did that because he was like, I could do this, and then he did.
Because I know he changed. I don't think he had so he had not black hair. I think he was brunette or whatever. Then when he went to Japan and he became the nightmare, so he switched it to blonde, and that's when he kind of his the new gimmick.
But he went like bleach.
Yeah. Now it's like, I don't know. It's just ferments a little too much. I think he left it on for too long.
Yeah. Matt Hardy calls out Chris Jericho, believing he is the one who actually attacked Matt Hardy last week, where we got a promo at the end that Private Party member will be facing Chris Jericho next week in a match. The Best Friend challenged the Revival, where I thought we was going to get a nice, on-the-spot match, but it seems like it's going to be postponed for a few weeks, so we might be seeing it during the 1 year anniversary event by what they were promoting. So let's see what happens. Thunder Rosa and Shida, two champion in their respective brands. Shida from AEW, Rosa from NWA, defeated my Caribbean sisters, Ivelisse and Diamante, in their tag team match. One thing I liked about it in AEW, all the belts except for the FTW was represented in one way or another. It was like a beautiful thing to witness.
It was supposed to be because of if it wasn't because of the COVID situation, we would have had all the belts, at least not represented, but in the ring, or at least illustrated in AEW. But I think this match I think there's more of I don't know if this we might see Sheeta and Thunder Rosa one more time before she goes back to NWA. But I honestly, after I saw the Eva situation last week, she's still like, I don't know. There's something about like that. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not liking her, but it's just like, I don't know. There's something about, I don't know if she's not trying or not selling or something, but it's like there's something off about her, especially when she goes against the two champions. It was just like a little bit off.
I would not overthink it too much, but I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Lastly, is the championship match, AEW Championship on the line. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Jon Moxley was able to do his signature move on Eddie. Eddie didn't tap out. Ref called it a submission, where we saw the attack of Lucha Bros over Moxley, getting helped by his boy Will Hobbs. I was kind of worried not to see Hobbs in this episode, but he showed up. From there came Rick Darby. Darby came in to even out the numbers 3-on-3. But then Ricky Stark with Taz showed up, and the number game overcome the I'm gonna say the faces of AEW. So that was the show. Now, where do I begin? Let's go straight, because I have notes this time. I came a little bit prepared. Let's go with the Eddie promo real quick, right? One, I like it was direct. He went straight to the point. I like that he called Mr. McMahon the devil, that Jon Moxley sold his soul to the devil. I thought that was pretty awesome. One thing I was a little bit like, what the hell, is that Jon Moxley, when he was called out, was already dashing down his entranceway to the ring, and nothing happened. Not even a shove, a push, nothing. It was just like, I was like, okay, strong finish, weak ending. What's your thoughts on his promo?
I'm liking what they're doing with Eddie Kingston. They kind of maximizing on his skill, because he's a little bit older now, so he's not going to give you like like Lucha Bro, like all in ring. He's going to be very retro, slow, methodical stuff. But his thing, it's promos. So let him talk. And even when he goes against the people that are wordsmith, like Taz or Jake the Snake, he handles his own. Even he tells them to shut up. Like, he knows how to handle his promos and mics. But the only thing I would have to say, I think he did a great job, especially, and I like that they called kind of didn't pull this out of nowhere, but I like that they were able to recover because what happened of the situation, and they made this match instead of having the 6-man tag. Do you think, on kind of rebuttal, just kind of like putting out there, do you think Moxley is mailing in his performance? I think he's not. I'm not saying he's not performing to the way he used to perform in WWE, but I feel like he's just like clocking in for a paycheck. Like, I feel like there's, especially the matches. I don't know. I expect more, or I want to see more from a champion, or maybe it's just a style. But I feel like he's mailing it in altogether for me. I don't know.
The way how Moxley was wrestling, it was just like he probably was just matching to his competitor, which is something that I kind of appreciate for. Maybe it's not more the style we're used to, but I kind of give him props for at least try to be more flexible with his opponent and be able to deliver the way how he did. I'm seeing that just to bring in what I commented earlier, when AEW was announcing about the 1-year anniversary match, they already announced that it was going to be a triple threat match between Moxley, Lance Archer, and Eddie Kingston. And I was like, why are we going to get a triple threat when it's already been announced that it's going to be a one-on-one?
Yeah.
But then I saw the ending of this match, and now Eddie Kingston do have the arsenal, you know what I'm saying, to make a good point, be like, I didn't tap, the ref called me out, I want my actual rematch, and what's a better way to put this in the end than a triple threat match? So I think this is a little bit more flexible in closing the story, but I fear that maybe Lance Archer might take the belt away from Moxley.
And I don't think Moxley's gonna lose. I think Archer might be if it's if it ends up being a triple threat. I think he might defeat Eddie Kingston for the title if it's a triple threat, and Moxley not be out of the picture, but not be the one to take the loss. That's what I would book it, because then you could have Moxley and Archer, like whatever death match or whatever, and kind of like there's no limits of whatever you could do. So I feel like that's a better story than Archer defeating the champion, like how Brody Lee destroyed Cody. That just, I don't want to see that again, especially for the other title.
I mean, I don't want to see that again as well, but I mean, like the way how it seems, I think Moxley might be taking a break real soon. I don't know. It's just maybe a gut feeling, or maybe maybe I just got gas. Who knows? I just know that it could be a possibility that he might be saying, "Hey, adios, amigos," and just go to Reno and chill with his wife for a bit.
True.
Another promo I think we should talk about is Brody Lee. When he saw that Cody Rhodes returned and attacked his minions the way that he did, at first I was like, wow, this is kind of, his promo was a little bit repetitive. But then when he brought up Brandy, and not Brandy as his wife, but Brandy as the Thirst Queen, and then having her calling Brody Daddy, I was like, yo, this is so personal and so freaking awesome. Like,
he also,
that was funny.
He also set this up, kind of, he's handling Brandy in a way that, like, he's like part of it, but not really involved in it. That's what he has Anna Jay for, which is a great move when they acquire her. So I'm liking what they're doing with that, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like
I was laughing my ass off.
For me, I would have preferred, like we talked in previous episodes, I wish they had other stories instead of, because it's kind of tough when you're the owner or part owner and also the creative. So you trying to write yourself into the show, not being greedy or nothing, but like if you have the right, you have the privilege to write your own stories, write yourself into it. Like, I'm surprised Cody came back. Like, you could have had this story told like months from now, and like have Brody Lee go against the people that we talked about last week. You could have had Matt Cardona or Scorpio Sky or whomever. Like, you build stories through it that have the big return. And it's just like, that means maybe he's gonna win the title back, and it's just like never lose it. You know what I'm saying? Because even Omega could go for the TNT, or Hangman now that they're single. So it's.
I hear you. I'm also a little bit sad that Orange Cassidy, who's been building up this hype, what I'm saying, even had fans dressing like him and all. I'm just mad like they didn't go with the DQ format, what I'm saying? Because fine, Brody Lee would have a loss for him doesn't mean he lose the belt. I felt like it would have been more of a help for Orange Cassidy and his new his new fan base, you could say, because he definitely sold me in a sense so far. I mean, his style is like you could follow it to the formula. It's silly at first, but once he gets serious, he's like red orange and he's killing the game. It's just like when he did his when he jumped through the ropes and they caught him, and then Brody Lee jumped through the rope and then they got him. I was like, yo, this is like great chemistry that we're witnessing, what I'm saying? And it's just like, I saw the 3 count and I'm like, God, Lee, like
they just mess it up. I feel like they're missing opportunities. Like, I know the next person, the next person that's like being built up, or kind of like the diamond in the rough, it's gonna be the Isaiah Cassidy, because he did a great promo on Jericho. So I feel like
You thought that was great?
Think about the progression when Private Party, when they started, until what they are now. One of them, Mark Quinn, went against for the TNT. He had a good match. He's got injured a couple of times, and they come back. Right. So I feel like their progression as the development as in a year as stars, they've gotten the momentum, especially them. I don't know if it's being mentored or counseled by Matt Hardy, but I feel like that's gonna be a good match, and I feel potentially the Isaiah Quinn and Chris Jericho, it's not gonna be as like Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, but if he's able to win or at least give a good performance, he could potentially be a singles person or move on out to like become a bigger star than he is now.
So I agree as performers. Uh, Private Party is definitely one of my favorites. I could definitely enjoy their show and see what they could do with, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, SCU. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Boy. You put them with them, it's magic. Mike skill though, that's where I was more approach of. I mean, like when it was just Matt Hardy and Chris, that was pretty like old school WWF style. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it felt, a little stutter from Matt's side in a sense, but you got the message, and I felt that.
but that could
Also
have been a
happy
concussion too. But
it
yeah,
could have. But happy birthday to Matt Hardy too. It was his birthday as well. We're both
yeah.
twin 23s. But when I saw that Private Party started to talk, I'm not sure if it was more of the. I understand the message.
Mm-hmm.
I got the message. I think the delivery was a little bit not as well as they wanted it to be. I felt like it was just a little bit too dry. And I felt like they could have added just a little bit more energy. You know what I'm saying? More New York style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're saying, imagine if a kid from Brooklyn was able, 23 years old, was able to be a legend like you. You know what I'm saying? If you would
yeah.
have said it with more like aggressiveness with that New York swag,
More,
I would have
I would
been.
say more Eddie Kingston style, because that's
No,
what
I want
Eddie
to go that
Kingston's
far.
like. But Eddie Kingston's like 80s, 90s New York. Like
Yeah,
he's like
but
rugged New York. You
but
know what I'm saying?
Private Party is more of like
New age.
our
Yeah, yeah.
generation in or even newer, and I feel like they could have just add more of that oomph. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
true.
Seeing, you know what? Similar to what Proud and Powerful does, but more in their lane. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like high class,
Mm-hmm.
type of, bad boy type of look.
Yeah.
They would have gave me that, I would have no problem. I just felt like it was just a little bit dry in their deliverance. That's my one thing. But
True.
the match itself, the idea of the match, I'm excited for.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
also
wait
I
to see
feel
it.
like talking about promos, the promo that it was brief, but I like the story that they telling behind between Chris Jericho and MJF.
Oh, I have
It
notes
was
on that.
it was it was.
Oh,
I feel like this reminded me of what Kevin Owens and Jericho used to do in SmackDown or Raw. Whenever they used to be like best friends and buddies, they used to like talk shit to each other, but they like have respect, but go back to it, and it was perfect.
it was. It's like The Rock and Chris all over again in
Mm.
my sense. A little bit of imitation. I feel like Max was able to deliver well. The Chris Jericho baby, and you know what I'm saying, with the
Yeah.
energy and everything matching. I like how they did. You saw the signal, the countdown, and when they said, "Why do you call me a loser?" And I'm like, "Oh wow, this is really really
Yeah.
good. Like well rehearsed." It just left me with like I want more. Like I want to see them now in a match. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't care if they're like villains or versus villain. I just want to see them in a match or doing a debate. Oh my god, they actually do a debate among each other. That would be entertaining
Mm-hmm.
itself. Give it a good 10-15 minutes of it, and I will be eating popcorns and just like laughing my ass off because
Yeah.
they were on their toe.
Yeah.
They were on the toe.
I feel like MJF should because he mentioned he's not gonna be joining a crew or because everybody's becoming part of a faction. I
Yep.
feel like he should not scout but have a moment like this with every group that there is. So
Okay.
do the next one with FTR, but him and Tully go at it like not out of respect, but like kind of like some banter with that. Then do like go against Taz or with Taz, be like kind of not freelances talent to the group, but like
Mm.
what can you? Oh, him and Ricky Starks, that would be interesting. And like, I don't know how. Maybe if he wants to go back to just to see kind of Poke and Prada like the Nightmare group, because he used to be with Cody. So now that Cody's reinvented, just to like,
Hell no.
just to see where Cody just him kind of like scouting himself as kind of like a free agent to join a group, and then he decides to like pick one and not maybe draw his hat or something. Kind of make it kind of how they do the college, like you get drafted to like a team or whatever, have a hat or something or scarf for each person, then he picks his own or something, make a story out of it, because I feel like MJF I would put him on hold for a minute because there's a lot of things going on, and he's like an important piece of AEW. I wouldn't want to rush this thing.
I agree with not rushing MJF. I would still continue to have him maybe in some opener match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With someone that's not in his realm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But continue with these promos because these promos have been like killing it pretty well. Also, you notice that Warlow has not been in any of these promos for the past 2 weeks as well. So it's like, what is going on with this group or these dynamic duos, and what's going to happen now? Are we going to see Warlow showing up in the near future? Are we not? So it's a lot of questioning in my mind going with that small little detail, but I can't wait for the result of that product. Again, that promo, pretty good job. Another promo too, it's the Young Bucks, Matt talking to Tony. I thought that was I think they're trying to bring out a dark version of the Young Bucks.
I think everybody is
to the light.
All the Bullet Club. It's turning back to like old Bullet Club.
It seems like it, but let's see how it goes because like I feel like I'm not sure if that phone was a dummy or they already bought it broken. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cracked and they just like continue to smash it. It was just like well delivered. I think Matt, when he said that he was looking for empathy from the audience, and once Tony mentioned FTR, it's like if your beef is with FTR, then dude, put your name on the hat and fight him. Like that's pretty dope. But I thought that promo was pretty nice. As you guys noticed, we're not really talking much of the match itself because there was a lot of ring rust throughout the whole event. But when we're talking about promos, though,
that's what they do best. I feel like they could do a whole show. They should try it once. They should do a whole show of just vignettes and promos, and I feel like they could still get between 750 to 800,000 views.
I agree with you. I definitely
with no action, which is crazy.
People be like, we're not gonna get a match, and it's like, no, it's like the FTR.
Imagine the debate that, for example, the debate that Orange Cassidy and I think that's probably one of the highest episodes they had, that debate
Chris Jericho,
Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. That took about 15-20 minutes. That you could have put at least 2 or 3 matches, and they just
number one's up.
It was amazing, and everything that came out of both their mouth, it was incredible. So it's just they have to be able to at least they're doing a great balancing act between promos and ring and story and stuff. But I think it's a year now. We see what's their best and their worst. So now they have to either give us something in between to keep it consistent because it's a 52-week episode, or keep it a good standard, because I think now the competition didn't get better, but NXT, it's basically back to Wednesdays on the normal now because I think the playoffs are over, and I think MLW is also gonna be on Wednesdays, so they might lose some of the viewership to MLW.
So a lot of viewership was going against some baseball that was happening, as well as the Boston versus Miami Heat. Sidebar: that kid Hero being a rookie coming out of the bench, scoring 37 points.
But I'm surprised people didn't know. Like, if those who like follow basketball, especially the Heat, he's a good. They have a good roster. They just when they get hot, they get hot. So it's sporadically.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing, guys, just amazing. But back to wrestling. I think another one I'm going to give a little nod to is Chucky, man. Chucky from Best Friend with FTR. When he called them a weenie, I was crying my eyes out. I was like, please put that on a shirt, do something with it, because like, make that your gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
You know what they should come in?
Don't be such a weenie.
The mom should drive the Oscar Mayer the weenie truck onto our pay-per-view.
I don't go with that on a pay-per-view, like, for a special event. Yeah, okay, I could see that. But like, oh man, I was like, yo, you call a grown-ass man a weenie.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I like Chucky, but it's just like, it's his friend Trent, it's better. So they gotta stay together. If they split up, Chucky's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
I'm not talking about splitting up. I'm just giving him a nod for his promo.
They're both great, but the thing it's like they know they have a star in Trent, so either Chucky has to step it up or something, because we already have Orange Cassidy as a superstar in that group, and Trent is the best one out of the two.
Second best, yep.
So it's just he's kind of not the weakest one, but I'm glad that he's doing promos and talking more, kind of to put himself out there.
I mean, but the build up to that point was that FTR and Telly, and I know you made a comment about Telly going back and forth with MJF. Mm-hmm. I feel like MJF would have to be a little bit slower, because I noticed in Telly a promo, it was a little bit much soft, and I think his timing in some sense was not on the dot. He just missed the beat just by a few meters.
I feel like he's stuck in the 80s. That's the thing.
Yes,
which is fine. It fits him, but it's just like, especially with people that like could cut promos and cut you off on the spot.
Oh, when Drax cut him out and told him, and continue with the storyline, I was like, hey, kudos for you for doing that, because like I understood what's the whole point of Telly trying to tell his part of it, but it was just, again, it was just the timing of it. I just didn't feel that same energy. But when Drax took over and Cash did the final portion of their promo, I was like, all right, yeah, I see why you guys are the best tag team in AEW right now, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Which I agree, they are the best tag team in the world at the moment. But I wanna see it in the ring. Like, I want them to be like
20 minutes.
No, yeah, but I feel like I think they call it the brush with greatness, which is great. They should have a segment like this, and they should do videos of them beating everybody in less than 20 minutes. And they should be like, oh, everybody got kind of not a moment of bliss, but do a segment like that. Be like brush of greatness. That'd be great. But I just want to see them be a fighting. I know they're heels, and they give you a tease that they want to fight. They're like, nah, we fight you when we want to fight you. But I want them to. I want them to show us rather than telling us at the moment. You know what I'm saying? They got the title. We haven't. I think we saw one match after the title.
With Jurassic.
Yeah.
Yep, Jurassic Express. Next ones for next week, I believe, is SCU. Mm-hmm. And basically, Telly said is that instead of it being a long match, right, it's going to be limited to 20 minutes. And if after the 20 minutes is passed and neither team have not pinned whatever, then the win score will go favor to FTR than to the opponents, because they're the current champion. Yeah. Which I thought, hey, if you want to do that, hey, I don't care. I just want you guys just to like pound and grind like you first promoted. You know what I'm saying? That's all I care about. After that, it's just like, hey, business is business, and you got to do what you got to do. So, that's where it was left off in my eyes. Can't wait to see how SCU are going to respond without Scorpio Sky. Are we going to get a Scorpio Sky, or are we going to still see Frank and
I think it's going to be the old school. And they're not going to last the 20 minutes. Frank is going to try to make it past the 20, but Daniels, I think, might pick up the loss for the team.
He is the weakest link. That's pretty much it with the AEW side, because honestly, guys, the matches were okay. You know what I'm saying? They were not the best match, but they, like the mirror match, I was not really too impressed. A lot of ring rust, a lot of non-chemistry displayed between Kip and Sonny, Janela. I was like, dude, this is not impressive at all. They did not even use my formula. You know what I'm saying? This is just like, I know Miro is a big name, but not like this.
And he was the opener, which I get why you made him the opener, but it was just like,
my opener would have Heyman and Evil Uno. That would have been.
Well, even the NWA, the women's tag team match.
Ooh, good.
At least start with a bang, because I think that's what the Battle Royale, I think, was one of the first matches.
Oh yeah.
So have that like that, and you have Moxley finish at the end, and in the middle, figure it out.
I mean, the TNT was placed right.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that it was building up like the second half to be all champions if you absorb. Like,
True.
it was all like champion display on the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But like, again, the first card, either what you said about the women tag team being the first, or Evil Uno versus Heyman Page, dude, that would have been much more of a spike for AEW than Miro. Miro should have been more of a filler, because it just, God, I was like, damn, dude, that's a hard pill to swallow.
That, you know what, that match should have went before the TNT Championship, because you had Janela and them face Brody Lee. So there's some like kind of, when if they cross path or whatever, have them like kind of cross path, then have them come in, Brody Lee, and but it is what it is. But it was okay. It was an okay match. I think they're just trying to set up for basically the 1 year anniversary, and kind of like the upcoming pay-per-view in a couple of months.
Yes, sir. For the remainder of the show, we're going to do something that we've been doing time to time when some shows were not that impressive to us, or it's been a little bit too short. We're going to do one of our segment called Our Favorite Top 5. Today's episode, we're doing our 5 top present, meaning 2020, 2019, 2020, female wrestlers. So, with that being said, basically, our picks would definitely be, people who competed throughout this year or last year, even if they're inactive because of injury or, personal reason, we'll still count them in a sense. We're going to do our best not to include everybody from WWE, because like that, me and Luisito agree that we type in, like, for inspiration or ideas, you type in the word female wrestlers, pro wrestlers on Google, everybody that show up, WWE. And then you find Gail Kim in the middle of the group. And then everybody else is WWE, WF, rest in peace to Mae Young and a lot of previous champions. But still, that's all you're going to see is just like WWE stuff. So,
want to do this in reverse order? Like from 5 to 1?
Oh.
Which makes it more interesting.
Oh, dude! All right, let's do it. I'm like, I have the list of like different people to select from, but it's just like so hard. This is like really, really hard.
I'll you know what? I'll go first, so I'll give you some time so you could rearrange or think of.
Like, my number 5 is in the tie between two people, but yes, please go first.
All right, so my number 5, what I consider, I'm basically, the way I'm doing this, the top 5 is based on what they've done since this is for 2020, what they've done for this year, the impact that they've done for their division, corresponding for AEW, NXT, whichever, impact and so forth. And also like the potential that they got, they still got 3 months, what potential they're going to get from now until 3 months from now. I think my number 5 is from Impact Wrestling, is Kylie Ray.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, respect.
She's been, I know she's been wrestling for a while, but now she's basically taking a bigger role now. I think she's gonna be one of the number 1 contenders for the Knockouts Championship. So I feel like little by little she's getting more momentum, and especially somebody that just came out of nowhere, but like she's probably one of the newest people that's in the main event basic picture for Impact. But Kelly Red's my number 5.
All right, a good number 5. She was definitely my top 10 present. But my number 5, I'm gonna have to go with Tenille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma. I think her name is definitely pretty big. She's she's also an Impact. I like what she's been doing number wise for the company, and I think once she's able to play her card right, I could definitely see her having a good match against the current knockout champion, which is Diona Perusa.
And also, like she just had a big return match this Tuesday, and also she basically came back full time. So it's good to see her back at Impact.
Yes, sir.
My number 4, I would say she's been in throughout the year. She's been injured, kind of in a losing streak and stuff. But I feel like she has momentum coming from their biggest pay-per-view that just had a couple of months ago, and I feel like she's one of the kind of hidden gems or big stars of their company for AEW. I would say my number 4, Britt Baker.
Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know she's been losing and stuff, but if you think about it, she went from having 2-3 injuries in the beginning of the year to now having one of the first cinematic matches for AEW. So little by little, she's getting back into the role of wrestling, and we got 3 months. Let's see what she does. I think there's 1 or 2 more pay-per-views for AEW. Let's see what she got to offer. But I think she had a good 2020 so far, especially going against Big Swole.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like that return match for her was a little bit shaky. You know what I'm saying? I was not like
But think about it. She went from a torn ACL, broken nose, recovery. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a good phoenix for AEW. She went from she lost, but going from injury to now being fully recovered.
Okay. I'll give you that. I definitely give you that. I'm going to go. My number 4 is trying to make sure I have this information to the T. This person, I believe, is currently a champion in a non-popular wrestling platform, you could say. I'm trying to get the name of the brand, but basically the person I'm thinking of is Celeste Bonin, formerly known as Caitlyn, from WWE. I forgot I think it's double A. I'm looking it up as we speak right now. But she's killing the game. I think she's a current champion in that brand, which once I figure out the name of it, and I'm just glad that not only she's a CEO of her own, product for women empowerment and beauty, but she was also like, doing some crazy stuff within the Slam Force Africa, SFA. That's the name of the indie. She was champion for them. So I'm just glad that she still do the wrestling on the side while also building up her brand as well.
That's a good choice. And I'm not saying I forgot about her, but I'm like, she came back for a little bit for NXT for I think it was for the Mae Young Classic, and she did a little bit stint in other companies, but it was a good choice, and especially now that she has some experience from WWE, kind of the big company, that she could bring the expertise over to other companies overall. That was a good choice. And it's kind of interesting just to see our different top 5 for our reasonings and stuff. And it's funny, we got 2 down out of the 5, and we don't have not a main event champion, but we haven't talked about the big champions, which is interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know which direction. I mean, I know this is our personal top 5, but at the same time, I don't want to like also say the same name, because that means we're in a mutual agreement. Yeah. So we try to bring flavor also to it. So
and also kind of side note on the Britt Baker thing that I had my pick. I was able to, fortunately they were doing like a virtual signing, so I was able to get a picture signed by her, so it's that kind of that adds another plus to to my list. My number 3, I would say, this person has evolved throughout the year, and now she's joining a big superstar. And my 3rd pick is my top 3. It's Alexa Bliss. She went from tag team to now being potentially the next Sister Abigail, or maybe she is Sister Abigail. I like the story that they're telling and how she's been able to evolve from the year so far. And even when she started until now, it's a big evolution to she's able to pick up different characters and be able to handle all the different roles that's demanded of her.
Definitely, I like that pick. I think Alexa Bliss has been one of the front runner for SmackDown per se. I'm sad that they didn't utilize her more for the the championship type of focus. I mean, she did well when her and Nikki Cross were tag team champion, but I feel like they could have done more with that, and hopefully we get more opportunity of that in the near future, definitely in the near future. I'm gonna go with my number 3. She's carrying the main event, man. You guys know how passionate I am for her. She deserved to be champion contendership for any of the 3 brands for WWE. Her husband is one of the hottest talent, and also one of maybe the best tag team talent we have in that company for 2020. I'm talking about Bianca Belair.
I thought you was gonna say Becky. I was like, all right, no, but I thought you was gonna say Becky. I was like, oh, her husband. Then you mentioned tag team. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, Becky done it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take nothing away. Becky is definitely overall, like, I think she might be on your list by the end of this episode. I don't know, but we could definitely in agreement that any of the Force Horsemen, Force Horsewomen, or WWE for what they did from NXT time during the earliest stage of it to what they'd be able to do now, like, of course, forever. They're definitely like up there, but in our current list so far in 2020, you know what I'm saying? Bianca definitely was showing some great potential, and she's doing her thing in main event, but I'm hoping that she does get a title match at least towards after Survivor Series closing the year to build a good story for her for 2021.
True. That's interesting, but yeah, that's cool. I and also, like, now she's been repackaged, so we'll see. They got 3 months to figure out. So you still got Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, and I forgot what's the last one. They basically have 3 more pay-per-views coming up.
TLC.
So they have 3 pay-per-views that they could throw her in, and she could take over. So it should be
yes, dude.
Now it's when it gets interesting. Our final 2 picks of our individual top 5 female wrestlers of 2020.
Yeah.
This is tough because, like, I have 3 or 4 that I want to put in, but I have to decide. I would say, so I'm sticking with my number 2. All right, so I'm choosing Thunder Rosa as my number 2.
I knew you was gonna go with her. It was in my in my sense. I'd be like, I feel like he's gonna say someone from the NWA and who's better than the current champion, Thunder Rosa. The roster too is only like 6. It's only like 6 females, but it is what it is. And Thunder Rosa is doing what she can.
Yeah, and she won the title this year. So you think about it, she's been the champion for almost 9 months, maybe a little bit longer. But she's able to basically, her company, she won the title. Then due to the pandemic and stuff, her company went off air for the moment. Then she was able to transcend companies and be kind of like the bridge between AEW and NWA. And she's competed against a champion. It was a good match. She also had, I think, 3 matches for her title. So she's risking her title. Then potentially when she goes back to NWA, not have a title. And she's only been in the business, like, performing and stuff, I think 5 or 6 years.
Not bad.
Coming from somebody that not that much, like, experience, sort of, compared to everybody else I've done training for years and years. She's performing pretty well. And I feel like also her like style and the way that she's performing transcends, because she's basically both Mexican. She has a Mexican style and American, so she's able to fuse and appeal to a bigger crowd. And also, we haven't seen that many people with face paint. Darby and her, really not too many. I think there's I forgot her name, but she is part of Impact, that she has 2 two version, also Rosemary, but not too many people racked up face paint, and she's able to make it look cool like they used to do back in the day.
Don't forget about Abandon. That girl is covered with face paint.
She's something else. Like she's
like,
she's just like
like don't forget to mention her name.
She's just crazy. Like, but and I want to see what she has to offer for because we haven't seen her in a while. I know she's probably taken a couple of AEW Dark matches and stuff, but that's another person that to watch out for and look out maybe for 2021 for AEW. But Thunder Rosa, my number 2.
I'm also going to pick a champion for number 2. This person lost her best friend in not the best way, but she still is one of the hottest talent personally in Japan, doing what she have to do for WWE, Raw particularly. I am talking about Asuka. Asuka is my number 2. I was going to put her at number 1, but I'm going to put her at number 2 because Asuka nearly did it all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Money in the Bank winner. I mean, we're talking about, she was
everything.
Won Money in the Bank this year. Mm-hmm. She became Raw Women's Champion.
Did she won the Royal Rumble or not yet?
No, she won
it with Shinsuke.
First one. The first time was Shinsuke Nakamura back in, I believe, 2018 because 2019 was her slow down period. Yeah. She came in 2020, I believe, as women tag team as well as the Kabuki Warriors with Kairi Sane. That's who I was referring to in the beginning of my introduction. Asuka, I mean, like many of you are going to say she should be my number 1. I agree, but I'm just going to give it to Asuka. I'm just going to place her there because like Asuka is just like I cannot end the show without mentioning her.
True, and I like that fact. I was gonna add it to my list, but I like to provide people with other besides champions, because we could name the 5 champions in other organizations, and they literally are the top 5 superstars of their brands because they're running the division. But my number 1 used to be a former champion. She lost her title at WrestleMania, but she's basically coming back and basically regaining some momentum. Margaret Rhea Ripley, she's my number 1 wrestler.
I knew it.
But I feel like there's more because you think about it. She went against Charlotte. Unfortunately, she lost, but she had a great moment with her. She lost it, basically went back up the division or her like stripes once again. Mm-hmm. Help EO. There's some story in there because they really didn't finish their business. She's helping people transition from NXT to Raw, which she did with Mercedes Martinez, and she's highlighting other superstars, which that's what a top star is supposed to do with their talent, like enhance them and help them move up the ranks as well as she does. But eventually, I feel like she's gonna move up to Raw or SmackDown. But I feel like at the moment she's doing great in NXT, and there's bigger things for her in the future for Raw and SmackDown.
Fair. That's a really good pickup. Surprisingly, my pick is also from NXT. Before I mention her name, because I think we only have like a few minutes left, some honorable mention, we could have said Nyla Rose, Big Swole, we could have said Sheeta, we could have said Kiera Hogan, or
I got what is it, Tessa Blanchard? Tessa Blanchard. But she hasn't done anything this year, but she was the first woman to get a men's championship besides China, heavyweight. 19 is a heavyweight. Tessa, I have Tony Storm. I know Yuki starting over. Sasha Banks, of course. Becky Lynch, Charlotte. I have one.
It's like we said earlier, 4 horsemen.
Yeah, and I have one here that's like she's a superstar in the making, and she would have been like I have like 13 or 14 that I wrote down here, but she could have been my last one. I would say for 2020, like that she's moving on up. I would say Peyton Royce.
Yep, Pete Royce. I was going to add her to the honorable mention. We could also mention at least you already met Shayna Blazer, Nia Jax winning the women tag team. That's really big for them. But my pick is the current NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. The reason why I pick Io is because you got to give it to her. She was definitely doing her best to stick around with NXT. Was even planning on leaving NXT until the opportunity of her to have that triple threat match between her, Ripley, and Charlotte Flair in your house, Matt. It was pretty awesome. I think she continued to elevate the women division by so far having a great match with the current talent. I wish she would give Blair at least an opportunity if it's possible, but if not, that's okay. But Io, Asuka,
Iraq Rashida, we haven't mentioned, but she's another one.
E-Rock, yeah, it's like they're all like crazy people that I could definitely see doing big things. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed your list too, dude. Like you definitely brought like different like names that I'm hoping that people could invest and do a little research on to learn about them for sure.
And also, everybody could, those who are watching, listening, they could, write comments and let us know, about our picks and what they thought about, who did better, who did worse, who would have, honorable mentions, or either that, or just give us your top 5 and see what we agree, disagree, and, make it a conversation. Because normally the female wrestlers, they get talked about, but unless they have like an oh my god moment. But the people, basically the 10 people that we had here, and I don't think we had people the same. Those are probably like the future of their divisions in their companies, and it's kind of interesting how like,
except for Asuka is
but she's what is it, Empress of Tomorrow. She's still, she's the future of tomorrow.
Yeah, she's still killing it with WWE, and then again, like a lot of honorable mention, but like I'm pretty happy with our top 10, of course. And like you said, those guys who's listening to us, we say thank you, and those who are having now, we just got 2 words for you. It's just like, follow us on our YouTube page, give us your comment, follow us on the Facebook page, go to our post, add your comments, tell us what you think is your top 5 female of 2020 and who we should have add on. And if you put the 4 women horsemen, once again, we know they're great, okay? Yeah. We know they're great. It's just like, there's other names out there besides the 4 that you could easily Google. You know what I'm saying? So as well, follow us on Instagram and our Twitter account, Providence Lucha Talk. We are here to help you, explore wrestling in our best ability. And as well, you can listen to our audio contents on the Apple Podcast and Spotify. Just give us those 5-star, give us a good review, and hopefully we can do better than what we did before. So with that being said, I'm your boy Jay Aguila.
And this is Luisito.
And we say buenas noches.
See ya. Have a good one.
Peace.